Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch. Welcome back to the Bodybuilding News Network. We have some updates, physique updates from Karlbajo in his off season. We also have Michael Daboul as he is 2 days out from the last Classic Pro show of the year, the Austria Pro. James Hollingshead, yes, I said it right, is around 14 weeks out from the 2024 Arnold Classic in the UK. We talk about my pick for the most overlooked open competitor in the 2023 season, and we also discuss Stanimal as he's 13 weeks into his off season. So if you're interested in any of those stories, consider stopping in, staying by, and subscribing for more news like this here on BNN. But let's go ahead and start off with Derek Olara. Now, this dude was an absolute phenom coming into the 2023 Japan Pro. The name was not familiar to me. It was somebody I haven't heard of before in my coverage of bodybuilding over the last few years. And when he came into this show, and I know that we're going to switch over to the live stream footage in just a second here. And it's not the best, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't really get any Galco, 4K video footage from this show. We got pretty decent photography, but the videography just wasn't there. But this dude was so complete. The conditioning, the muscle detail, the overall flow of the physique. He could use a little bit more muscle, and that's why he didn't win the show. But I thought he was really impressive. Definitely one of my picks for the most overlooked open bodybuilders of 2023. Let me know your picks down below for your most overlooked guys. We have Stanimal, 13 weeks into his off season, and this dude was so impressive this last season. He did a lot of shows, ladies and gentlemen. And he definitely made a name for himself if he hasn't already. I mean, I think he's a household name within bodybuilding, but he's just missing out on those wins by just a couple placings. And I thought that this most recent physique update, where he was doing the posing routine at Jennifer Dory's High Roller, right? The High Roller Classic NBC show out of Las Vegas just this last weekend. Him, Nick Walker, Keon Pearson, a couple other guys, Quentin Araya, they were out there. All those guys were doing guest posings there, and I thought that Stanimal looked really good at that guest posing. And you got to think, for 13 weeks into the off season, I think he looks pretty impressive. I'm wondering, what he's pushing in terms of supplementation and what type of training he's doing in this off season, what his end goal is as well. You got to think, what show is he going to get ready for, or is he taking a year off to make improvements? I did see on this Instagram post on the right, he did say he's going to do everything in his power to get on the Olympia stage in 2024. So I can assume that he's going to probably do a lot of shows. If not, if he's lucky, he wins that first one, he does. But expect to see him very busy in the 2024 season, hunting after that early qualification. Karlbajo, like I mentioned in the intro, sharing some physique updates on the graphic on the left. Those are the most recent ones we've seen from him, weighing in around 222 pounds coming into the offseason. And if you do remember, ladies and gentlemen, Karth won the 212 New York Pro last year. So my thought is maybe he stays relatively lean, and then around 10 weeks out from the New York Pro, he drops the hammer, gets ready for that show, and goes for the early qualification. I am a big sucker. I'm a big fan of athletes defending their titles. I think it's a cool story to see the same pros winning the same shows back to back to back. It builds kind of a legacy piece at those shows. And especially when you look at the New York Pro, it's one of those shows that was historically, the Night of Champions back in the day. It used to be a really big show. And I'd say in the last few years, the lineup has gotten a little bit light. And I'd like to see a lot more of the bigger names jump into the shows and make it a little bit more exciting. And especially when we talk about the 212, I'd love to see more of that as well. And of course, hopefully the 212 returns to the Arnold Classic. But Michael Daboul is one of the biggest names getting ready for the last show of the 2023 competitive season, and this does qualify him for the 2024 Mr. Olympia, and it's going to be an exciting show for him. This guy's a top 10 guy, brings a lot of great conditioning, brings a lot of great detail, and it's really a race between him and one other guy. And I do expect him to win this show. He looks really, really good. He looks like he's got a lot of great detail, a lot of great conditioning. He's really known for his conditioning. Him and his coach, Patrick Tour, do a phenomenal job bringing him in shape to every show. And that's why it was so easy to just pick the New York Pro that he won last year, because essentially he looks the same at every single show because he's so consistent and honestly, a perfectionist. And last but certainly not least, James Hollingshead, I said it right, Hollingshead, sharing some physique updates most recently all the way on the right with that side chest. And what really blew my mind, what really caught my attention was this rear lat spread that he shared not too long ago, but long enough ago that I forgot about it. And good Lord, does he look impressive in that video. I mean, talk about just like so much muscle density. He brings a very unique look to the rear lat spread. I think not a lot of guys have that. It's a turtle shell, but it's I don't know how to explain it. It's just a very unique looking lat spread, but I love it. Maybe it's because the traps aren't as pop. They don't pop as much as the other competitors you see. But all in all, very impressive. Excited to see him at the Arnold Classic UK. He did take a year off, so it's going to be exciting to see how much muscle he's able to retain once he starts really dropping the hammer on this prep. But if you enjoyed any of these stories, consider subscribing. I'm your host here on the Bodybuilding News Network, Josh Sanch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.